Welcome back to Talking Wednesday Extra. Happy New Year, I believe, is when this extra will be going out. So I hope you all had a good Christmas period and are looking forward to a 2025. 2025, eh, lads?
Jesus. Oh.
You're just getting older, aren't you, punk?
I am. I thought by 2025 we'd have flying suitcases and stuff. But
Flying
suitcases.
Back up a little bit. Why did you go straight to flying suitcases?
Because when I was a kid, apparently I drew a flying suitcase and wrote 2025 on it, thinking that's how we would get around. I liked the Jetsons, sue me.
That's very specific, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no, we don't have them.
It's now 2 years until Johnny Silverhand bombs Arasaka Tower as well.
In cyberpunk law.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love how you had to clarify that because, you know,
it's a football podcast.
Some absolute crusty, like, so-and-so might then go, they're talking about an actual incident that was planned. And no, it's a video game.
So
event.
if we all get arrested and something like this happens, it's your fault, Jack, for mentioning it.
Enough about terrorism. Good game, Cyberpunk, now.
It is.
I keep getting 9/11 TikToks appearing on my For You page as well recently. I don't know what it is.
What you be looking at?
I don't know. It's like jokes about, I've just bought this really cool Lego plane. Look at it. And then they throw it at a giant, like, Lego skyscraper or something.
I saw, it's weird because I've had a couple of them, but they're very tailored to the specific. Get this, Jack, because they're tailored to the very specific individual. Because mine was a guy with Pokemon cards that literally went, me with my Pokemon cards in 2024. Oh, wow, I've just pulled a secret rare. Me with my Pokemon cards in 2024. He looks out the window in 2001, drops his cards, and it's like
the plane. God.
Why?
Like music through the decades. The 80s, it was like the Bee Gees or something.
Wasn't
the
it
90s,
you who sent me the one with the cookies? Or it was the ginger head?
2000s. Oh my God, they hit the South Tower. It's so funny. It's just stuff like that. It's just so funny. Like, I know it's awful, but it's really funny.
Yeah, it's just so funny, isn't it? Right, laugh.
Look,
anyway,
is Wednesday Extra. We could be extra little.
It's going live to everybody though on.
Jack is now immediately cancelled.
Well, you can only be cancelled if you accept being cancelled.
Yeah, this is an extra that's available to everybody because it's an interstitial episode between normal programming because we do that over the Christmas period when I can remember to do it. So, yeah, today, anyway, we're talking about years in 2025. We're in a window. The transfer window at the time of this has just opened. So, Sheffield Wednesday have transfers available to them. We're in a weird situation filming this because even though I am 90% sure Danny Rule's going to still be the Wednesday manager.
Yeah, same.
There is a 10% chance he sods off somewhere else, in which some of the things we would say wouldn't be entirely relevant. But the only thing club I could see him going to is it Hamburg that is linked to, which is one of them. That's the only one I could see having legs, to be honest, because I don't think. But it's a case of whether I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, I think one of the things is because the West Brom manager was linked to it as well. He came out in his press conference today going it quite disrespectful. And at the time of recording, we haven't had Danny press conference yet. That'll be interesting to see if he goes down the same route.
Yeah, but the way we're going to do this is, yes, we might make references to Danny, but let's just imagine. If Danny goes, we bring somebody in who's going to play a similar system. So the players the talk will still be relevant. And things like that. So yeah, basically what we're going to do today is we've all come up with 2 players that we think Sheffield Wednesday could sign in January. Not necessarily who we want them to sign in general. Some of us might have done that. Some of us might have done some punts like that. But for example, me, I have based it off the knowledge that we've been given that it's mainly going to be loans and we're skimping a little bit. So I have basically focused my area of expertise, in inverted commas, around that. So I'll tell you what, let's do this. Let's give the draft loser the first talk. So, Jake, who is your first player that Sheffield Wednesday could sign in January and why?
So I got Dion Sanderson at Birmingham. Now, he'd only played twice this season for them because for whatever reason, he doesn't fit their manager's style. He contracted till 2027. They will want to get some players off the books if they want to start getting players in. And I can't see him being one that's able to be bought, but his value is 3.2 million. But we need a centre-back with a bit of experience, and he'd done pretty well in the Championship in the past. Now,
He's the old Wolves lad, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he's only 25. I think it would be a really good move to get because we are short in defence. Defence is where we are really struggling in. If you look at it, if we're not getting Akin back till March, it leaves you a Whitway, Bernard, Iorfa. A Whitway is coming back, but it's sounding like we could have some players leave in January who are seniors. And a Whitway will be one of those seniors that I think would leave to go get minutes. So if we did
do we know why he hasn't been played?
It's just not it's just not in the manager's thoughts.
Right. Okay.
For whatever reason, he's not in the manager's
I guess it's his
thoughts.
playing style, maybe. Because he's one of those, like, no-nonsense, just block at all costs sort of...
He played 31 times in the Championship when they got relegated. 31 times when he first went there. He played 37 the season they got relegated. And he played twice this year for League One. I just don't think he fits his style of play. And I think it might be
what's Birmingham's current style of play, if you expand on that a little bit more?
It's very similar to... Not similar to us in the sense of playing out from the back, but they're wanting to have players who stand up and defend. And he doesn't stand up and defend kind of thing. He likes to have the ball, hold it, move it forward, and get forward a little bit. But that's the reason why I think he could be a shout. But my only issue is, would they want it to be a buy and not a loan? Because he's out of contract till I think his contract runs out in 2027. So it's one of those ones, but it would be one of those ones that I would look at if we can.
Would he be, what you've said there would suggest to me that he wouldn't fit Danny's style then if he's more no nonsense. So what your thought process is your thought process there just for numbers or?
It's more numbers. It's more making sure we've got the numbers and we've got someone who's a little bit younger, who's not as injury prone. So if you have someone who's running at him, and you've got only, say, one Iorfa forward and then one back or the other way round, you've got the legs to then get back into position because one of the things we have is we get caught on the counter so easily and then we don't defend it very well.
Yeah, no, he's one I didn't even think of, to be fair. It's an interesting one. I'm just trying to look at some of his...
he can play centre-back and right-back.
I'm basically being the stat man now. And if you go off the stats, he's a fairly average player, which is not always a bad thing, is it? It depends on the manager that comes in. He's a constant. If you look at his overall rating over his career, he's always averaged like 6.5, which isn't spectacular a season, but you never know.
And if you look at where he came from originally from Wolves, they were very much the Danny style of system when he was in that team. So I don't think
well, that's why I was shocked when you said no nonsense kind of centre back, because I always saw him. I always just looked at him and thought, because he's from that Wolves system, he must play. He must. But if he's not that, that's interesting.
I think it's literally just not fitting the manager's ideas, and he brought in other player for that position. Because you got to remember they started the season with a brand new manager to go attack League One. And
that's fair enough.
I think Birmingham quite like to get. I think Birmingham quite like to get it out to like the wingers as soon as humanly possible. rather than take a chance with playing it around a bit. Whereas
from what I can see, he's not apparently that good in the air either, which, to be honest, would contribute to all our defenders that aren't very good in the air as well. So he would definitely be fit in there. But yeah, for numbers, I could definitely see it, Jake. Jack, your first player and why?
Isaac Smith, from who's currently mainly a Manchester City under-21, but he has played a couple of times in the EFL Trophy for them. And I think, but obviously that's a loan. I just think he fits the mould quite well, and we know what we're expecting with a Manchester City Academy graduate, because we've already had Fizz, who's a very much a possession, passing the ball based sort of player, and that's how they try to play anyway in general under the whole Pep system, and we know that they like to kind of mirror all of their youth teams to their first team style. And I just sort of think that they've got an excellent academy, and it's, not too far away from Manchester.
Give us some profile on the player then, because position, etc.
Yeah, so he's in the Manchester City, has come all the way through their youth setup. His contract actually expires this June, this upcoming. No, sorry, it got extended. Yeah, June the 30th, 20. Oh, wait a minute. How does the? I don't think his transfer marketplace has been updated.
Take it. The transfer market thing is just as a baseline, because sometimes they don't update players.
Yeah, but he has played.
Yeah, he's basically been in the academy since 2016.
Yeah.
I'm on his Man City profile now, and he's still there. So he's just coming through the academy. Yeah, it won't be a contract.
And
he,
good place for us to. I think we're a good place for him to get maybe a loan spell for half a season.
He's not signed a pro deal yet, though.
No. My only issue with it a little bit, with what's happening with Man City at the moment, granted they are going to be looking at signing players in the window, how much does Pep get told to go use what's in his academy and use a couple of lads? If it does, it could be one of the ones that comes at the end of a window when Man City's done bits and pieces if they don't throw him in, because they've got so many injuries at the minute in that midfield.
Yeah.
If his minutes are accurate this season, I don't think he's had enough. He's only played 6 times.
I'd take a punt on an academy
player.
No,
absolutely, because of the system. I get that.
He's young and the system, and I think we've got enough senior centre backs that we need a bit of someone with legs, I guess.
No, that's fair. Yeah. What would concern me is the 6 matches played, because 210 minutes that's Premier League 2 as well, so that's under 21 level is concerning in that regard. But yeah, I'll take on that, and I will also do, because I also went. It's funny, we've all gone for a centre back as well. The centre back I've picked out, I don't know if it's Paddy or Pawdy. It's an Irish name, O'Connor for Lincoln.
Yeah.
So he plays at Lincoln at the minute. He's a 27-year-old.
I think we've been linked with him before.
Oh, he might have been. He's a 27-year-old centre back. And because I've been doing the draft, I've been obsessed with stats.
Yeah.
He is like one of the consistent performers in League One in terms of, if you look at his stats and you look at his clearances, his blocks, his interceptions. What really impresses me about him is his aerial duels, and I'll talk about that in a second. If we're a bit weak in the air from set pieces sometimes, I feel like that could be an option. He basically is a constant. He always gets above 7 ratings, if that matters to you. And his average this season is 7.49 a game, which obviously means he's been getting a lot of 8 and above games so far this season, with a couple of 6s in there, but and low 7s. But he's been great for Lincoln from what I've seen, and because he's good in the air, this is where I've picked it out. I just wanted to talk a little bit about in the air, because if you compare him here, if I just look at some of his games here, they played Rotherham, he made 11. He won 11 aerials. They played Wickham, he won 10. Physical sides, right? He's winning 10 aerials in that. Bristol Rovers, he won 10. Stockport, he won 10. He won, and that's what you see across his aerial record. So in the air as a centre back, compare that to someone like Bernard. Bernard's highest aerials won was against Portsmouth when he had a great game, and it was 8. But most of Bernard's are 2 to 3 aerials, 1 per game. So I'm thinking, if we've obviously got injuries, you bring somebody that's got a different strength next to Bernard, while we've got that situation. So the only reason I'm mentioning it is because it wouldn't be like my ideal shout, probably.
So we were linked with him back in 2022 when he was at Bradford.
Right, okay. Yeah.
When he was at Bradford, because it was in this bit where we were looking at when we needed to play Dunkley, Hutchinson, Story, Harley Dean, Lewis Gibson. So we did look at him back then. And back then he was 24.
Well, his market value is only around 300k, which is why I'm thinking like you could probably, if you're thinking like how expensive some loans could be, you chuck 500k at it, maybe you get one of the better centre backs in League One at the minute, and you actually build. The question mark for me, excuse me, what I was saying before I coughed my guts up was the thing for me is obviously Lincoln don't really play a playing out from the back style. It's not one of their main strengths specifically. But I think about like, if Danny is still the manager, presuming he is, but also just the way that some players have changed under good management. It doesn't take long if they've got the other attributes there to start adding that to their game. You know? So I'm just thinking it's just a punt, really. It's a cheap punt if we need a centre back that could come in, basically.
It's a little bit similar to mine, it's numbers. Yeah. As well. Yeah.
But it's somebody that I would be confident, potentially, because he's performing so well in League One, having him next to Bernard with our injury situation.
Hey, Bailey, give him a nudge.
Yeah. Or put him in a 3. Have somebody winning the aerials in the 3, you know?
Yeah.
Which is something we've done with that 3. Because I think Valerie plays quite well in the 3 as well. So there's options there. We definitely need a centre back, and that's the one I've just sort of plucked out by having a look. So, Jake, we're going to go to your final player. I bet you've gone for a striker.
No, I haven't. I've gone for Harvey Vale at Chelsea. We need a creative midfielder or an attacking midfielder.
Who?
Oh, Harvey Vale.
Vale.
You mean Vale?
Yeah, Vale, sorry.
Harvey Vale.
Yeah.
Harvey Vale. I'll have a consonant, actually, please.
I got that as well.
But we need an attacking midfielder because we don't create enough. And he played pretty much everywhere. Left back 14 times, left midfield 34, 36 attacking mid, shadow striker, right mid. He can play anywhere pretty much on the pitch. So he's one of those players.
Jake, if you just pulled this off Football Manager because he's one that has always signed on football, and I'm only mucking you, but he is literally someone that I always sign on Football Manager.
I'm going to say it's the same as Jack as well. Yep. But the thing is, the only concern I've got is he only had 2 spells in the Championship at Hull in 2022-2023 season. But in the 23-24 season, he played 39 games for Bristol Rovers, where we know how hard that league is. And if you can perform there, I think you can step it up. And I think it's someone...
He picked up 3 man of the matches that season, 2 goals and 5 assists.
Yeah. I just feel like he could be this, our season's pervader this year. Also, on a slight side note, Bristol Rovers have been linked with Muniz as their next manager, so pray for them if that happens.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor team. No, his passing percentage over that season is 68.5%, so it's not the worst I've seen, especially if you're thinking about ball possession. When he, obviously he's had the Chelsea appearances there, but no, that Bristol Rovers stint was very good for him. So I reckon he's probably very much a Danny player as well, isn't he?
Yeah, and 21 as well. So you've got that thing where they can get in developed, because what we're showing clubs at the minute, when you look at the likes of Beadle and co, you come here, you will develop. And I think Chelsea, with their academy, they need a lot of their lads to get out on loan. And we do have a good link up with Chelsea in the past. So it'll be interesting to see if we can make something work there.
Yeah, it's weird he's not gone on loan this season, to be honest. So maybe they're just waiting to see.
Well, this season in Premier League 2, he had 7 appearances, 3 goals and 5 assists.
Yeah, so it might be time to send him for a short-term loan with someone. Because, he's in England under 20 as well. And he's gone all the way through the ranks at the England youth, the youth ranks. So, yeah, I could see that one. That's a good shout, that, Jake, even if it is Football Manager-esque. It doesn't make it any less. Look at bloody Delap.
Yeah.
You know, he was a football manager gem for ages, and now he actually is a good footballer. Jack, your second player.
So I actually changed my answer until I did a little bit of making sure that I had my final thing while Jake was talking, and I've actually changed my player. Originally, I went for a guy called Bergvall, who's a Swedish player at Tottenham, thinking, oh yeah, that's going to be a really talented, a under 21 sort of player that needs to send out on loan. No, he's basically their Pato. He's literally been on the bench for them like all season, and actually came on and played really well against their recent Southampton game where they won 5-0. So we ain't getting him, like, not a cat and owl's chance. So I've actually changed my answer to a more realistic one, and that would be Louis Barry on loan. Who's
there's a little bit of
and I may or may not have based that upon Twitter rumors and whatnot that I've seen.
Well, no, it's true. We are looking at him, but so are half the championship.
Yeah, but given that he scored 9 goals in 21 appearances in 2023, the 2024 season, and then in 20 appearances has scored 14 goals so far this season. Scoring goals is a bit of a problem for us, as well as sort of the centre back position. And I think that he could be this season's Pervader if we get him on loan and be that tricky sod that just creates something out of nothing. And that's exactly
worth mentioning that he is predominantly a winger, so it's a case of
he can play as striker too. If that's yeah.
Would you stick him up front there? Is he playing up front for Stockport at the minute?
More off the wing.
Is he up?
More, yeah.
He's on the wing.
He's cutting inside from the wing. He's basically doing what Masaba should be effing doing, frankly. And
Masaba does do it. He just doesn't pass it. He does cut inside from the wing. He just doesn't pass it.
For that reason, I'd potentially sell Masaba, if it means that we could get Louis Barry in.
I don't think we get Louis Barry on a permanent. Absolutely
but
not.
On a loan. We still sell Masaba.
I wouldn't sell. But I do think, and I'm going to stand on this one because he gets a lot of stick. There's a player in Masaba.
I think he's drinking his own Kool-Aid too much, and he won't be humble enough to learn and adapt. And
the thing is, there's a player in Masaba, and I think if he's still doing it next year, you then go, okay, you're not picking it up now. I think you gotta. If you notice, Gassama seems to be taking things on a lot more easily than Masaba is. But here's the thing. I think for Masaba, it's a confidence thing. If he's not confident, he's not going to play well. And that you look at the game where he set Smith up, he doesn't cross that first thing. He's running on the side where Danny is at, I believe, or someone's gone and said something to him and gone, look up, and he's done it. I think he's one of the ones that need to be reminded, look, you can cut inside and have a shot. We've seen what you can do, but you also need to get crosses in.
He needs vocal players behind him. Barry needs to be on him every game.
What,
literally
carrying him on his back? Charge!
No. He's Scottish, but you don't have to go down that route.
But they'll never take our football.
I knew that was where that was going straight away. But yeah, I'd love to sign Louis Barry.
But
it'd be a great signing.
I believe Leeds, Middlesbrough, Sheffield United are all in for him.
So basically, we're not getting Louis Barry.
No.
I think we were actually the first team that was linked with him in the Championship, if I remember rightly.
We were.
And then shock horror, Sheffield United looking at our transfer list and saying, yeah, we'll have him too. Like they've done basically with half of our transfer targets in the summer.
The thing is, there is a parent club involved in that, and they might not want to send him to. They might want to send him to the top of the league, sort of thing. But they also might think, oh, I've got a style.
See, the thing is, what I would say is look at the work Middlesbrough and Villa have done in the past. They got Azez. They got Johnson, went over to Villa. They have a very good relationship, and they work well in terms of that kind of style. They seem to get players from each other. So I wonder if there's a little bit of that. Well, we've already got good players off you and we know what you can do with your talent. So maybe there's a little bit of that there.
Oh, yeah. Well, my last player is also a forward. I've taken a punt here again because this is a loan, right? And this is this is an under 21s loan. So, because they were talking about that sort of young Premier League loan. And I've gone for 19-year-old Ben Parkinson at Newcastle. So this season, he scored 8 in 13 in the Premier League 2, so the under 21s. He's got 1 assist. 2 of those goals were penalties. But last season, he's sort of building because he's played less matches this season. He scored 5 in 15 last season. He's already got 8 in 13. So you can see that he's at that stage where 19 is kicking on a little bit now. He's also made a senior appearance in the Premier League against Bournemouth. So the reason this sort of triggered in my brain a little bit was Newcastle have got an eye on this guy for the next few years, maybe. So when somebody makes a senior appearance, usually you see them going on loan shortly after that. So that's why I thought somebody like Ben Parkinson, a forward that we need, would probably match where we're at the minute. What was the U for, Jake?
His agency is the same agency Barry Bannon signed up to. I recognised the agency immediately. Oh. That's why I went, there might be a bit of maybe we can get a deal here.
There we go. And if we do sign him, you're welcome Wednesday. Hopefully he's good. No, but I just looked at it, and if you look at it, he's one of the most consistent performers in the under-21s, in the under-21 league for the Prem. And it's just that combined with obviously being a position that we need and the fact that he's clearly on Newcastle's radar, because it was a league game against Bournemouth, by the way. It wasn't a cup game. What he made his debut in.
What I would say is going into the transfer window, keep an eye on what we did last window where we were linked with a couple of American lads, because Kevin Beadle is someone who liked the American leagues, and right now they're in their draft period. So there might be some players you able to get over and be able to get them on like a 6-month contract, maybe to a year, to do something to the permanent. So it will be interesting. Because we've got to remember, one of the things that we had last season, it seems like we had a bit of money to spend because he did try and sign the American striker. Now, I don't know if that's changed or anything, but look at some of the players we missed out on in the summer as well, because it wouldn't surprise me some of them are still on Danny's radar and Kevin's radar.
Let's just bring Messi in on a short-term loan.
And actually, it isn't unheard of about 6-month contracts for players, because when we first signed Barry Bannon in 2015, that was initially a 6-month deal, and then it got extended to 3 years or something in the January. So we have done that before.
We did it 2 seasons ago with Mendes Lang.
Yeah.
Yep. We made it really, really decent.
Did a really good decision in not renewing that, actually, and that's serious as well.
Yeah.
And then he ran back his decision to extend it, unlike what he tried to do in the Sunderland semi-final game.
Well, given what's coming, let's just say, Jack, given what's come out about him since, it's probably a good thing.
God, yeah.
One of the players I will say though, Dex, and this is one you've mentioned in the past, and you'll be gutted if we didn't go for him with how cheap he was. Do you remember a couple of seasons ago you mentioned Leonard Miller as an option from Motherwell?
I remember making the thumbnail, but I don't remember the conversation.
Right. He's about to go to Brighton apparently for $4 million. And I think we could have got him for like 250k.
Oh, head of the game. That's what I'm sort of thinking with this Lincoln defender, by the way, because he's currently worth about 300k. I think like he's having a standout season in League One at the minute as a centre back, as 27, and it's a case of Lincoln could get promoted and he could step up with them. But he also, I reckon he'll be, after this season, he'll have interest in him. Another shout just for the forward. I think Wednesday could very much go the route of like a Ben Parkinson, but if Southampton do rob our manager, which they're not going to, we've got a good link with Southampton. So I looked at basically their best performer in the under-21s in terms of a forward that was promising. And his name is 19-year-old Prince Will Ebib Hatioman. I'll send you that, Jake, and you can have a go if you want.
No, thank you.
He's got 5 goals this season in the under-21s. So he's started the season off quite well, and that's in 10 appearances. So
you know, you've just gone down the Southampton route. Are you seeing how many striker Brighton have got?
I did notice they had quite a long list, yeah.
Jesus.
Well, they do hoard players and get... They've got a good academy, though, haven't they, now? They churn through players and all of that. But, yeah, I thought with the Southampton links, with the Charles links and things like that, if they're looking to send a striker out in their under-21s, maybe him. But my main focus was on the Ben Parkinson front.
Yeah.
So then, lads, after that discussion, anything that stands out, anything that you feel like we really, really need to solidify this January window?
I think we've all got the same position pretty much. We've all got someone attacking and a defender. And we've got to remember, we've got 3 lone spots that we can use. So it is the last couple of press conferences he's done. He's sounding like he wants to fill all 3. So it could be interesting.
Yeah, Jack?
I agree. I think we probably need... I would probably say we need a centre-back, a central midfielder, and a winger/striker. Maybe the one that can do both.
We need a striker, in my opinion. Like, I think
Ugbo will come good. With him, it's a mental thing, I think.
Yeah.
Because once he scores the first goal, he'll just start scoring loads of goals after that. It's one of these weird things where, like, the first of the bunch is the hardest to get. And then once you've scored the first one, loads more follow.
I've got faith in it
as well. It's happened with Windass a few times, so it's, you know. Yeah.
What we do definitely need is the numbers, you know, and
we keep getting
I think
injuries
we've got
again.
some good suggestions there, but again,
but
we must say, and we must, you know, sort of like clarify this. We can't say we've extensively watched these players. They're educated guesses based off previous history of seeing players' careers and how they start to shape up. Now, I've collated that data and looked against these players, and they look to be shaping up like players that could go on to be half decent like other players in the past. So it seems like the right fit at this time. But that's what all speculation is. Who do we think we could bring in? If I was saying who do we want to bring in, I'd be like, well, let's just raid the best players out of League One. Let's take the top scorer of the top team, you know. Let's take the really expensive Premier League loans that are like the bench players in the Prem. But that's the stuff that's probably not going to happen because it costs money. So, yeah. Anyway, that was our first bit of content for 2025. So I hope you are doing very, very well. And we will see you in the next episode of Talking Wednesday. But shortly as well, there will be another Talking Wednesday extra. So see you later.
Bye.